afternoon, everybody. What a glorious afternoon this is. First half of a unique double, Arsenal on Wednesday, meeting again in the FA Cup final next month. This, of course, is the important one right now. Just ask the managers and the players about that. A place in next season's UEFA Cup awaits the winners today. And the presentation of the team is Gordon McKeag, President of the Football League. And just behind him, one of the all-time greats, a true gentleman of football there, Tom Finney, OBE, a Preston plumber. Fantastic left winger for England in those years immediately after the Second World War. And I would think those Arsenal players, the young ones there, might just hope a little bit of Tom's magic rubs off on them this afternoon. Kevin Keegan up here with me. Great to see such a man as Tom Finney here as our guest today.
I think it's a lovely idea, Brian. This is something we've done at Newcastle this year, inviting old players back, and it's gone down very, very well. But you're talking about living legends here now that are left. This guy for me is number one. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and whatever you think of him before you meet him, once you meet him, you like him even more.
George Graham there. Also with Tom Finney, Mrs. Penny Hughes, who's the president of Coca-Cola, Great Britain and Ireland. Gordon McKeag, as I say, the president of the Football League, and David Dent, the secretary of the Football League. Now the turn of the Sheffield Wednesday players. Viv Anderson, their captain, and mascots leading teams out for the first time. Another break with Wembley tradition. Chris Woods, Roland Nielsen, the Swedish fullback. John Harkes, the American. John Sheridan and Danny Wilson. Paul Warhurst, the defender turned wonderful striker, and what a platform today for Chris Waddle. Mark Wright, Carlton Palmer. And it's a really wonderful setting here as David Hurst and Graham Hyde are two Wednesday subs. Alan Gunn and Roger Dilks, the reserve official, and the two linesmen as well, Bob Andrews and John Hilditch. Let's take on the check on the two teams then, starting with the Arsenal lineup with David Seaman in goal, number 22 David O'Leary. The teams wear squad numbers today. O'Leary in for the suspended Lee Dixon, 3 Nigel Winterburn, 5 Andy Linnigan, 6 Tony Adams, 7 Kevin Campbell, 8 Ian Wright, 10 Paul Merson, 11 Ray Parlour, 14 Paul Davis, a selection that might surprise a few people, and 15 Steve Morrow. O'Leary at right back then. Davis adds the necessary experience and the good use of a ball to their midfield. And George Graham has decided to go with Campbell and Wright as his front men, with Smith as one of the subs. So Paul Davis, an Arsenal man since 1979, is maybe the surprise selection George Graham was talking about. And on the question of surprises, just we wonder, what does Chris Waddle up of his sleeve for everybody in his repertoire this afternoon? What a platform this is for Chris Waddle. Well, he's in the Sheffield Wednesday side, of course, that has Chris Woods in goal, number 2 Roland Nielsen, 16 Phil King, Nigel Worthington suspended, 4 Carlton Palmer, 6 Viv Anderson, 7 Danny Wilson, 8 Chris Waddle, 9 Paul Warhurst, 10 Mark Wright, 11 John Sheridan, and 15 the American John Harkes. The key to it all could well be in the midfield, with Sheridan and Wilson in the middle, Waddle and Harkes down the flanks. They look a potent combination. Palmer comfortable in his new role as a central defender, just as Warhurst is dangerous in his switch to attack. Substitutes, 2 for this game, of course, for each side. Alan Smith and Ian Selly for Arsenal, and David Hurst and Graham Hyde for Sheffield Wednesday. And the referee in the centre there is Alan Gunn from South Chailey in Sussex, his 10th Wembley appearance. And by reputation, a referee who loves to let the game have a chance. Tony Adams, the Arsenal captain, on the left. Viv Anderson, now 36 years old. Even the mascots have got their numbers and their names on the back. Kevin?
Well, it'd be a terrific day to remember for that young lad, and I think it's a great idea to have mascots. It's just repeating what we do at league level. But everything's set, as you say, for a great game. There's so many fascinating jewels all around the field that they're almost too numerous to mention. But
who do you fancy?
I'm from Yorkshire, so obviously I'd love to see Sheffield Wednesday. But I think the discipline of Arsenal is what may well get them through this afternoon. George Graham has very good discipline sides, and at a place like Wembley, you keep your shape and the balance of the side, you've always got a chance.
Ian Wright, who's gone a little bit off the boil lately, but still top scorer with 26. And 5 of them have come in the Coca-Cola Cup. And what about Paul Warhurst then? 17 for him, and one amazing spell of some 11 goals in 10 games when he switched to the attack. Shouldn't be a shortage of goals here today, but when have we said that before? And away we go. O'Leary. Instantly we can see that O'Leary in fact is playing as a genuine and orthodox right back. So the thought that possibly George Graham might play David O'Leary as taking this throw, either as a sweeper or as another central defender. That speculation that has in the end come to nothing. Here's Wright. And a corner instantly for Arsenal. Watch out for Tony Adams. Spurs will remember that from that semi-final. Steve Morrow will take it. Adams up in the centre of that 6-yard area, right at the far post, floated in there. And in fact, Woods didn't get anywhere near that ball, and it took 2 defensive headers to get it away. And finally, the first touch for Waddle. And not a very telling ball either. Merson. Down that left-hand side. Nielsen with him. Gets it cleverly up here to Waddle. Waddle hitting a long ball, trying to hit Warhurst with it. Some backpedaling, and Adams very calmly and confidently in control there for Arsenal. Finding young Ray Parlour here on the right. Marks has come back with him. Carlton Palmer gets it away. Midfielder now settled in so sweetly and confidently in the back four for Sheffield Wednesday. A long and arduous season for both clubs, reaching its climax now with these 2 finals. Sheffield Wednesday's 55th game this season, Arsenal's 51st. I think Newcastle played even more than that, haven't they?
Seems like we played 100 this year, Brian, but when you're successful, you seem to play more games, and I'm sure every professional will tell you the more games you play, the more chance you've got to play for your country and things like that. But we just talked about O'Leary before. It's amazing for me. I've played against him many, many times when I played. I've simply been finished 100 years. And you always think you're going to get something against him. You never quite do.
Here's Winterburn. Merson. Just confirming that point, he's playing as an orthodox right back, isn't he, O'Leary?
He is, and I think he's such an experienced player that he can adapt. He's got a wealth of experience to fall back on. And where Arsenal might gain from the fact that they've got him there, as well as Linnigan and Adams, is from set pieces, as you rightly said. They've got terrific height advantage.
There's Adams. There's a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. I think Arsenal were just a little anxious that Trevor Francis might be tempted to put Waddle over on this side against David O'Leary to test his legs. Waddle's on the right. Trevor Francis on the bench. Celebrates his 39th birthday tomorrow. Will it be with success today? Woods with the kick. Hit long towards Bright. Warhurst chasing it, but Adams again taking control. A real giant this season in the defence for Arsenal. Waddle with the throw. No, Nielsen's going to take it instead. Took on by Bright towards Warhurst. Hit the post. While Warhurst holds his head. That was a real instinctive shot, and it almost caught Arsenal and Seaman out. Smacked against the post, knock on there by Bright. A volley by Warhurst, and Arsenal lucky to survive. Kevin?
Well, there's no thrills to this man. He just does the very basic things very well. A lot of players might have tried to pull that down. He just took his chance, and you can see why he wants to play centre forward now.
Palmer backpedaling. A clash, though, with Ian Wright. Linnigan. Free kick this time to Arsenal. Taken quickly by Paul Davis. Finds Merson. Knocked it forward again for Wright. Got Campbell waiting in the middle. And down goes Woods. A good couple of early bites in this game, suggesting that there's going to be plenty on offer for the fans and the viewers alike this afternoon.
That's what they'll be looking to do, Brian, to get in the channels round, get right around Viv Anderson. I'm sure of that. Viv, with all his experience, the one thing he isn't blessed with is tremendous pace, and that's one thing that, of course, Ian Wright has got plenty of.
Waddle's ball into Bright. Warhurst again. Just behind the main striker Bright there, but pulled that one well wide.
Been playing about 7 or 8 minutes now. He's already had one hit the post and another chance there that he might have felt he could do a little bit better with. The fascinating thing, everyone's talking about Chris Waddle and what would they do with Waddle and where would he play. It's Merson against Waddle at the moment. Two very similar type players, both with a lot of flair. And I suppose George Graham thinks he might be able to cancel Waddle out by taking him the other way.
Free kick again. Whistle's gone. The other little duel I can spot down there as well, Kevin, is Morrow sticking very close to Sheridan, who's now out to take this, or just thrown the ball to Palmer. But you see Morrow's come very deep with him, and clearly they feel, Arsenal, that the supply line, particularly to Waddle, comes so often from Sheridan.
Well, it does, as Jack Charlton said only too well before the game. You can't give him a lot of space.
Well, this is a nice move developing for Arsenal. It's Morrow, and it's right on the far side. There's Parler in the middle here, but Woods safely gathering. And a good throw out, releasing John Hawkes. Phil King in for the suspended Nigel Worthington. Scooping it forward. I don't think Hawkes will get to that one. Linnigan quite content to let it go for the goal kick.
A very hopeful ball from King there. And again, when we said before about the fascinations, how quickly will he settle? I mean, this is a big game for him. He's had a bad injury he's come back from. Paul Davis, how will Wembley pull at his muscles? You know, will he last 90 minutes? I certainly think he's got the ability to turn this game Arsenal's way if his stamina lasts out.
Palmer's header. And Arsenal's throw. O'Leary finding Linnigan. Winterburn's in some space on the far side. He delayed too long, and Warhurst takes it up, but the ball was bouncing awkwardly. He got it through to Sheridan. Sheridan quickly looked up and almost got it through to Bright. And it needed the skill of Adams to get that one clear, the positioning as well. Suddenly, Wednesday looked very hungry indeed as they were pouncing on that mistake, and there's another Arsenal mistake, this time from Winterburn, I think it was. Hawkes picking it up, Parler trying to get back at him. O'Leary also is here, still with John Hawkes. Finds Sheridan, there's Morrow quickly onto him, finds Danny Wilson. And Waddle. Double shuffle. Back to Waddle again. O'Leary. And it was Linnigan who got it away. Palmer being put under a degree of pressure there from the pace of Kevin Campbell.
I think the one thing that won't bother Palmer is pace. He's got plenty of that as well, and he's really their little insurance policy if Viv Anderson or anyone gets caught.
Free kick to Wednesday. A foul on Harks. Sheridan behind this. Waddle naturally will be behind this, with members of that rifling free kick shot of his against Sheffield United just a fortnight ago, and Arsenal will be well aware of that. They'll hope that their wall is formed fairly well. In fact, it's Sheridan playing it now for King. Knocked through the middle now. Harks with the shot! And a goal for Wednesday!
Beautifully worked free kick, this one, Brian. It's something that Trevor Francis and the lads obviously have worked on the training ground. It's a super. I mean, Arsenal were well asleep. Lad Palmer on the end of the wall. But this is a tremendous finish from the American.
So 10 minutes of the game gone. Sheffield Wednesday go into the lead. John Harks, but when he played here in '91 against Manchester United for Sheffield Wednesday, was the first American to play in a senior game here at Wembley. Now he's put the cap on that with a superb goal. And here comes Wright, brought down right on the edge of the box, no foul. His 5th goal of the season, John Harks. Here he is again, the lad born in New Jersey. Come a long way to embarrass Arsenal in the early stages. Now this Coca-Cola final. Davis. Merson. Plenty of red shirts are up. Merson, who can be so dangerous in that little hole, as they call it, just behind the front two, but also is dangerous when he sweeps in from the wings. But the perfect start for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a superb free kick, this. And what the beauty of having 2 men who can shoot is you can get away with all sorts when they don't. And this is a prime example. I think it's O'Leary or Linnigan who quite got the touch. But his first touch really Seaman's had is picking the ball out of the net. But it's a lovely open game of football, Brian, and both these teams fancy the chances.
Free kick for the foul by Adams on Bright. I think we were all expecting another Waddle blockbuster from that free kick. As you say, it was one that was so beautifully worked on the training ground. Sheridan's little touch to King.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to defend against, because you've got to put 2 or 3 people in a wall when you've got people like Sheridan and Waddle who are going to shoot. And of course the penalty for that is there's always a man spare, and they've capitalised on that in the best way possible there. Just looking at the midfield, Morrow was doing a job marking Sheridan. That's fine, but it's when Arsenal get the ball you worry about, you know, if Davis doesn't do it in the midfield, who is going to really do things that are going to create chances for the lightning pace of Campbell and Wright. And I think, you know, that's the minus point of putting people in just to mark people.
Well, the Arsenal bench, we saw them there, denied the possibility of playing Limpar. That was Palmer. There was a lot of speculation the last couple of days, but I'm told that Limpar came back from Sweden's game in Hungary with a slight knock and aggravated it in training yesterday, so he was not even in contention.
He's the sort of player, Brian, that you feel on these wide open spaces of Wembley he could just be a lethal weapon, but they were robbed of that chance.
Seaman away. Well, there's a long way to go yet, and Arsenal are very experienced and they're used to playing at Wembley, and here's Merson for them now. Little touch in, well, a clear header for Wright, and he'll be, as they say, very disappointed indeed with that. That was a golden opportunity, some great work by Merson, and some poor defending by Wednesday, I have to say.
Beautifully flighted ball in here, and it seemed to catch him just off balance, you know, his timing.
But look at the freedom he had there as well, Kevin, the amount of space he had in that area.
Well, again, when people like Merson start to cut in, the defenders start to think he's going to shoot and they go for the block, and he very sensibly clipped it back. And that was a real chance for Wright, and by his standards, a very poor miss.
Parler trying to go through, the flag goes up. Arsenal's problem this season has been scoring goals. Certainly 35 in 36 games in the Premier League. The lowest scorers in that Premier League. And indeed only 13 in 8 of these Coca-Cola Cup ties. It's given Wednesday's way. David O'Leary thought that the ball came last off Harkes. So if you just joined us, Sheffield Wednesday leading Arsenal by 1-0. The scorer, John Harkes, after 10 minutes. King with the throw for Wednesday. The city that celebrates its centenary this year, Sheffield. And with both football clubs doing a lot to make it a year to remember, with, of course, United here against Wednesday in that FA Cup semi-final. Winterburn gets it away, pulled to this side of the field by Waddle.
It looks like what they've decided to do with Waddle is when he plays on his more orthodox position of right side, then obviously Merson takes him. The minute he moves inside, you'll see Winterburn go with him. And so far, it's worked very well in terms of Waddle hasn't done anything. Unfortunately for Arsenal, they're 1-0 down through probably an area they didn't think they'd have problems with, and that's someone like Harkes, who doesn't score that many goals.
That was just his 5th of the season. Here's Merson, who looks in very lively form at the moment. And he's hit a good cross in there. Palmer meets it, though, for Wednesday. Winterburn tries to follow it in. Danny Wilson with a little dink away there, but Wright gets it back to Adams. And now Davis. Not wide for Winterburn. Crossed in again, Sheridan knocking it wide. Here's Waddle on this side now. Dummy, a shimmy, and misunderstanding with Mark Wright. O'Leary to Davis. Sheffield Wednesday leading 1-0. Winterburn. Merson. Warhurst beating Adams in the air. Finnegan playing it forward for Davis. Good decision, referee. Davis had gone through the challenge of Sheridan. Parler. Oh, he played well there. Went round Wilson. And a foul there by Sheridan. And a free kick to Arsenal. Young Ray Parler, a lad from Romford.
He does ever so well here, and it's the sort of thing, you know, he's showing us he can do, because he's not just a workhorse, this lad. I remember we actually covered the game when he made his debut at Anfield against Liverpool on a night, and he played very, very maturely that night, and he's been more or less a permanent fixture in the side since. And I think his greatest asset is his engine room. He can cover the ground up and down the field all day long, as you would expect of a lad his age, but he's also shown us he is prepared to run at people as well.
I think one of the things that George Graham might admit is that there's tremendous potential in this Arsenal midfield with the likes of Parler and Selly, who's one of the subs today, and Morrow as well. But he just feels, I think, that, you know, in 2 years' time, they're going to be really just what he wants, and they're just that little bit short of what he wants at the moment. And I think he feels that maybe Arsenal have stuttered a little bit this season, largely on the strength of a lack of experience in midfield and a lack of firepower up front. Davis chipping that one through. Merson with a shot. It's in!
So it's 1-1. We couldn't have wished for a better start to a game of football. Both sides being rewarded already in the first 20 minutes for a lot of endeavour.
I think there may have been a deflection on the way here as well.
Certainly he didn't catch it right, if there wasn't.
Here he goes. Yeah, deflected off another Arsenal player, actually. Right in the back of the net. 1-1 the score. And I would say Paul Merson's goal, as Waddle now is at the other end.
I'm not sure it hit anybody, Brian.
No, I don't think it did.
Again. I think he bent it, and he maybe didn't make the sort of connection he wanted to. But as you saw from the case in football, if you make a good connection, you don't score. But it was still a terrific goal, and Merson has looked very, very lively right from the first second of this game.
Well, it was his first goal of the season in the Coca-Cola Cup, and it comes in a week when his wife presented him with his second baby boy, Ben, a little brother for Charlie. So there's certainly plenty for Paul Merson to celebrate at the moment. But now there's concern for Arsenal. Waddle's behind this one. Sheridan's there as well. I think the odds look on Waddle hitting this one. Dipping, but not enough. Let's look at the Arsenal goal again, Kevin.
Well, they defend it well against Linegan, and it comes out and he just takes his chance. And I think that's just a beautiful strike, looking at it again. No chance for Woods at all. You can't point a finger at anybody there. It's just a real good goal. And I've always felt about Paul Merson that there's something more in him than we see all the time, and he's shown it already today.
Well, he's certainly looked the brightest of the bunch for Arsenal so far. Palmer with a header away for Wednesday. 1-1 the score here in this Coca-Cola Cup final of 1993. It's a Wednesday ball. Phil King with the free kick. King is just back from a serious knee injury himself. Knocking it forward, O'Leary getting it away. Wilson finding Harks, looking to get in behind O'Leary. Hitting it longer this time. It might come for Waddle. Warhurst was jumping. It's a Wednesday throw. And a game at the moment that is all that we hoped it would be. Warhurst. Roland Nielsen. Offside flag is up.
When these sides got pitted against each other in both cups, I suppose a lot of people are a bit disappointed, unless of course you're an Arsenal or a Sheffield Wednesday fan. But if the games are going to be anything like the first 20-25 minutes of this one, then we're in for some real spectacular stuff, and I just hope the players can keep it up.
Well, Morrow and Adams got in each other's way there. Anderson knocked it forward again for Wednesday. O'Leary. Palmer. King. O'Leary again. Parlour to Morrow. Sheridan in the end finds Nielsen with it. Gets a good ball through here for Waddle. Waddle in turn playing one wide here now for Harks. Can he keep it in? He can, but he will. Yes, he's kept that in as well. It's a long, long cross, and Winterburn gets it away for Arsenal. Up towards Campbell. Stopped by Nielsen. Anderson. Waddle. Harks. Great pass by Waddle. Right. Wilson. Waddle again. But O'Leary's challenge was enough. But in comes Wilson again. Sheridan. A little touch now for Viv Anderson. Waddle. Long range shot maybe. Too high.
Just to mention Danny Wilson there, Brian, and he'll just quietly do his job in there and let Sheridan and Waddle and Hart bomb on, and he'll just sit as the outlet all the time. He again has been playing a long, long time. If you look at Sheffield Wednesday, they're sort of the side that epitomise what football's about now. Lads at 32, 33 are no longer considered too old because of dieting and because of training. They seem to last a lot longer these days. In my time, once you got past 30, the pension books out, you know, now it's a bit different.
No better example of that actually than the Sheffield Wednesday manager, who looked after himself so well in terms of what he ate and what he drank and how he lived and so on, and he went on playing and playing. Yes, there was a foul on Warhurst by Linnigan.
It was a silly foul for Linnigan, this, because there was no way that Warhurst was going to get any advantage.
And the punishment could be a heavy one, because Waddle has the ball under his arm now, bringing that, what is it, 6 or 7 yards outside the Arsenal penalty area.
It's in a very dangerous area. You've got Sheridan again and Waddle on, and bearing in mind what they've already subjected them to from the other free kick, there'll be a little bit of panic in the ranks of the Arsenal defence at the moment.
Indirect free kick. Sheridan would just touch it, I presume, to Waddle. No, he's knocked it to King. It deflected. The flag has stayed down, and a corner's been given. And they've taken it quickly as well. They've stolen the march on Arsenal here. And it was just not wide there by Mark Bright.
I don't know what David O'Leary was thinking of there. He showed lack of experience, because he was arguing at the linesman about the lack of an offside flag, and in the end, I mean, absolutely just forgot that they'd got a corner. And I think Bright will be disappointed not to hit the target from a couple of yards.
It's a deep kick from Seaman. Campbell's after it. Oh, against the post and back into the grateful arms of Chris Woods. Oh, there's thrills at both ends now. And Wednesday almost caught out with some very poor defending again, and the strength of Campbell. The ball goes wide of Woods, and thank you very much.
Yeah, Chris Woods will tell you he got his angles perfect there, because he couldn't quite get the ball, and he was right in place for the rebound. But first time we've seen Campbell, really.
And now we're seeing Parlour, and this is Morrow breaking clear. Right in the middle, and a corner for Arsenal, conceded by Carlton Palmer.
He's their Des Walker, if you like, as far as England fans go. Any little mopping up to do, he's got the pace that will get them out of the trouble they've got themselves into.
Morrow with the corner for Arsenal. 1-1 the score. Just over 26 minutes gone. Bolted there. Still haven't got it away. They still haven't got it away. And it's a goal kick.
This is where I expect Arsenal to cause them a lot of problems, because they have got 3 or 4 very big guys in. And Woods came in, he didn't get there.
Didn't get anywhere near it, did he?
No, he had too many bodies to come through. Linnigan, just unfortunately, could only just get his head to it and knocked it a yard or 2 wide.
Header for Arsenal. King and Palmer at odds with each other, and Wright, well, probably had a chance to get closer range than that, but again a misunderstanding between Palmer and King.
May take them a while to settle down, because King hasn't played that many games, as we said, and certainly not over the last few months because of his injuries. But what's amazed me a couple of times with both, certainly with Palmer, is he's prepared to let the ball bounce. And that's the midfield man playing at the back, instead of just getting it away and clearing the danger. Always want to bring it down somehow.
Waddle trying to get Warhurst in. Adams was quick there as well. Sheridan, nice touch. Waddle being shadowed again by Merson, scorer of the Arsenal goal, 1-1. Waddle picking out Palmer. This is Parks again, losing out. Wilson getting in with a strong challenge on Campbell. King playing it in to Bright. Warhurst now for Wednesday. Knocked back for Waddle. Trying to pick up Mark Bright.
I don't know if he's offside there or not. It was a terrific run. And if you start to make runs like that round the box with a fella called Chris Waddle on the ball, you've always got a chance of being found with the perfect pass.
Nielsen gets it away into touch now. Let's just have a look at that one again. Was he offside? There's Waddle's ball. No, good lining decision. He was no more than level, and a well-timed run by Bright.
His touch let him down a little bit there, Brian, didn't it? If he'd have got a good touch on it, I'm almost sure that would have been 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Arsenal's throw, coming towards the half-hour mark. 1-1. Here come Wednesday again. Bright looking for Warhurst. Warhurst looking for support. He's got it now from his full-back Phil King. To Harks. Onto the right foot again, but not with the same effect that he showed us in the 10th minute. And a goal kick for Arsenal.
Must be on American TV, Brian. He's shooting at every opportunity. But why shouldn't he have? He's already had one on target and it's brought them a goal.
We are coming towards the half-hour mark now, 1-1. Harks for Wednesday, Merson the equaliser for Arsenal. Merson. They've got to find a way to shackle him. Right. Come for Morrow, but it was Harks in the end who hooked it away. Bright challenged by Adams. Adams' greater strength got there. But then the nimbleness of Harks, but the flag was up for an offside against Warhurst. And a free kick to Arsenal.
It's a dangerous game to play with a guy like Warhurst about. They're sometimes very flat, the Arsenal back four. And they've already been caught once or twice, and if Warhurst catches you, I can vouch for one thing.
Merson injured here.
They won't catch him.
It's Campbell. Merson. Corner. Just came off Danny Wilson. Adams and Lennigan are forward again. Campbell's a 6-footer. He's on the edge of the 6-yard box for a little flick on. Woods impeded, and the referee not more than 2 yards away saw it all, and the free kick's been given. Waddle with a little touch. Wilson playing it on. Winterburn clear. And finds Merson with it. Played inside for Davis. And for Merson again. It's a long ball for Morrow to chase. Quite an interesting ball there for Merson. Whatever it was that the physiotherapist Gary Lewin did to him there with his back, it obviously has worked, and Merson is moving freely. The score of the Arsenal goal. 1-1 the score. Right. Whipped it in, easy forwards.
I think if there's one part of Ian Wright's game that lets him down, Brian, it's when he gets in wide positions, he doesn't always deliver it as good a ball as he possibly should for the player he is. And I'm sure if he sometimes had to deliver the ball for himself, he'd realise he could be a little bit better at that.
Linnigan's header. Winterburn's clearance. King for Sheffield Wednesday. And O'Leary plays it into touch. He's obviously got a bit of a problem with his back, Merson. He's been, I just watched him a moment ago, he's doing all sorts of exercises, twists and so on. Seaming out quickly. And it's noticeable that young Ian Selly is well, so is Alan Smith. Both the Arsenal subs are warming up.
Seems like he's hurt his groin or the top of his leg somewhere, Brian, and they were trying to free some sort of nerve before. That's what it looked like.
Came off Palmer. Here's Woods. He's really labouring at the moment, isn't he, Merson?
He is. He's looking over at the bench as well, and whatever he's done, it's causing him a lot of discomfort.
10 minutes of the first half left. Arsenal 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Free kick for Arsenal. David Seaman will take it. Parlour winning it in the air. And off the corner flag for the goal kick.
Well, as you could only expect, the pace has just dropped a little bit. It had to, didn't it? There was no way that the two teams could keep that up for 90 minutes. I would think it's fairly hot out there, knowing, having played at Wembley before on days like this, very little air gets into the place. And, you know, after an hour or so, these lads are going to know they've had a game today, that's for sure, if they keep this pace up.
Right. Wilson. Warhurst. Caught by O'Leary as he made a delicate little turn there and a touch aimed towards John Harkes. Free kick for Wednesday. John Sheridan behind this free kick. And then plays it wide again for King. A variation on the one that produced the goal, played from further out. But then Parlour shoving Harkes in the back, and the referee had exactly the right angle to see that that was a foul.
It's a good decision, that, Brian. You don't get many of those. Referees don't like to give them. But that was a foul, even though the ball wasn't within 4 or 5 yards of them. And it's another very dangerous situation.
Waddle's here again. Sheridan's here again. Sheridan. Came off big Viv Anderson. Viv, who was a winner here in '87 with Arsenal. 36, but apparently he's been promised another 12 months contract by Trevor Francis. And I think most managers who've worked with him would say he's such a bubbly character, he's always good to have in a dressing room, whether he's playing or whether he isn't. And we hear from the Arsenal bench that Merson has got a back injury. Arsenal's throw. O'Leary. Campbell. It's easy for Woods. Chris Woods, in fact, looking for a third winners' medal in this competition today, as indeed are Viv Anderson and Danny Wilson. Right, here's Merson. Moving just a little more easily at the moment, it seems. It's gone past Nielsen. They may have been there looking anxiously from the Arsenal bench and hoping that they do detect the fact that he's moving just a little easier.
It'd be a shame if he had to go off, Brian, because he started so lively, and if you pick one player out who has been slightly above everybody else out there, there's been a lot of players playing well. I would say it's Merson. His problem's going to be half-time when they stop and it, you know, starts to seize up a little bit. And, let's hope he can stay and carry on playing the way he is, because he's vital for Arsenal today.
Morrow's header. Anderson. Parlour, and now Sheridan. Wright trying to get Campbell in. Wright's gone down, but Lee Dixon alongside George Graham there, suspended, so unable to play at right back for Arsenal in this game. Good work by Sheridan. Davis. Now that's a good ball. He's got Wright chasing it, but Wright's got Palmer chasing him. That's a free kick. And the referee wanting a sharp word with Carlton Palmer, with a yellow card to follow it to match the referee's jersey.
Yeah, he's right to give him a yellow card, but the game's been played in such a good spirit so far that you almost feel it doesn't warrant one at any stage so far. But it's his pace here that does him. And if Ian Wright's pace is doing people like Carlton Palmer, you can guess what it could do if he could get round Viv Anderson and people like that. With great respect to Viv, he isn't blessed with Carlton's pace. But
Paul Davis then with this free kick. Adams up on the edge of the Wednesday 6-yard area. Campbell's jinking in there too. Finnegan tried to get on the end of that one. Wright versus Waddle, and then Wright versus Nielsen. Ian Wright gets it, finds Merson with it. Came off Palmer. Finnegan wanted to keep this momentum going for Arsenal, and denied by Harks, who finds Warhurst, and Bright is away on the far side for him. Looking for Bright. Waddle's now giving support. Jink passed his man beautifully, tried the chip that found Warhurst, but in the end it went only to David Seaman. Here's Campbell.
He's certainly started to swing Arsenal's way a little bit in terms of possession in the opponent's half, and Campbell and Wright have started to get down the channels, and once they do, they look very lively, don't they, as a pair.
Morrow again with a corner, a deeper one this time. Nielsen got his head for it to it for Sheffield Wednesday. Wright to Winterburn, to Wright, to Winterburn. Finding Merson, little flick with the outside of the boot, right on the end of this one, and Woods just got there before him.
Oh, the crowd behind the goal, this Wednesday supporters, annoyed at Ian Wright there, but I think he had every right to go for that one, Brian. It was there for him to take. He was very brave, and he kept his eye on the ball.
What do you feel maybe is starting to swing it Arsenal's way, Kevin?
I just feel they've settled down a little bit now. Certainly Morrow in midfield has found his midfield legs, because don't forget, he is a defender. And Wright and Campbell have started to get down the channels.
Came off Linnigan for a corner. Arsenal strangely wrong-footed there. Both Linnigan and Adams close at hand, and it was somehow a clumsy conceding of a corner, which Harks will now take for Sheffield Wednesday. Waddle at the near post, Wright also in the near post. Linnigan with a good firm header away, up to Ian Wright. Touch for Campbell. But then Anderson turning it back, and the flag was up for an offside against Warhurst, and while he argues, Adams gets it away to Merson. Chased by Nielsen. And beaten in the end by Nielsen. Supported by Anderson, and here's Waddle. And Bright well offside.
you said you were surprised that the two big men get in each other's way, but I think, to be honest with you, they're both very similar players, Linnigan and Adams, and I think that's why they bought Cohn, isn't it? You know, Mark and Cohn, because they both like to attack the ball and win the long balls, and of course it's very difficult with the two of them being so similar, but they do well considering that.
Martin Keown, of course, ineligible for this final. There's Waddle. Adams with the header, finding O'Leary. Round of applause from the Arsenal fans for that. Got there, spotted O'Leary, found him unerringly with a header. Here's Linnigan getting in again. Hefty clearance for Palmer to deal with. Winterburn. But Wilson. Another Wednesday throw. Summing up the first half, Kevin.
Well, I think it's been a terrific advert for British football. Certainly Wednesday started off livelier, but as the game's gone on, the arse's gone on, Arsenal got more and more into it.
Linnigan's header for Arsenal, won by Parler.
And I suppose the one thing you'd really notice is that Chris Waddle hasn't set the game on fire yet, like we know he can. And that man Harks with that goal has really set it their way. But I think at half-time, 1-1 is the right score. Both teams have shown us what they can do, and I'm really looking forward to the second half, because players are going to tire on this big Wembley pitch.
Trevor, what's been the verdict so far in the Sheffield Wednesday dressing room? Well, from an attacking point of view, I think we're quite pleased. We scored, created chances, missed one or two. I'm disappointed from us defensively. We've got to head the ball a lot more than what we've done in the first half.
It's been an excellent game. I mean, there are obviously going to be some more goals in this game.
Well, there's plenty of chances. I think when you've got players on view like Warhurst, Bright, Merson, Wright and Campbell, you're sure to get goals.
Wednesday then, in the striped shirts, attack the goal to our right. 1-1 in this 1993 Coca-Cola Cup final. So if Anderson gets the ball back to goalkeeper Chris Woods. Played as an 18-year-old in this final back in 1978 for Nottingham Forest against Liverpool. It was 0-0 that day, and Forest won it on the replay. What's happened there? He's given a free kick for the foul on Warhurst. So right at the start of this second half, a problem developing here for Arsenal.
They keep giving free kicks away in these sort of positions, Brian, they're going to pay a penalty eventually. It's the people, as we said, like Sheridan, Waddle, and don't discount little Danny Wilson who's talking there. He's got a fair old thump in his right foot as well, so they've got to be careful. They may just do it once too often.
Now, which of the three will have a little go at this one? It's going to be Sheridan, saved by David Seaman.
I don't think you're going to beat a keeper of Seaman's class without a little bit more deception over the ball.
Nielsen with the header. Here's Waddle. Several free kicks, Kevin, that Sheffield Wednesday have had in that position, but as yet not a blockbuster from Chris Waddle. That so unsettled Sheffield United.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are putting up a bit more of a wall. I mean, Sheffield United made the mistake of not even putting a wall up, which I found unbelievable. But I suppose it's because everyone thinks Chris Waddle's going to pump it. They think they might profit from that by someone else doing something like Sheridan tried there. But I think they've got to have some other person just on the ball.
Merson. Morrow's chasing this. Wright's in the middle. Parler's in the middle as well, coming up on the far side. Oh, this pass falls easily for Harks. Played inside now for Wilson. Wilson stopped by Davis. Davis to Merson. Linnigan. Merson finding Winterburn. Here's Waddle. Really hasn't imposed himself on this game yet, as Waddle. Sheridan. And Merson takes it away before Waddle can get there this time. Adams. Davis. Campbell chasing. And Woods and Nielsen needing each other really to get that one away. Bit of shirt tugging there, or short tugging actually, by Adams on Bright.
I think Adams has won a lot of people over in this country. I think when he first came on the scene as a brilliant 18-year-old, a lot of people had looked at him and thought, no, he's not going to last the pace, but he's proved an awful lot of people wrong. I'm delighted for him.
And away goes Parler. He got the better of King there. And now Wright. And look at Waddle getting back there, doing the challenging. And Waddle claiming that Wright, oh, they're having a little nudge and a little bit of a butting going on there. I think what it was that Waddle thought that Wright had dived there looking for a penalty, and there was a bigger finger pointing going on. The ball played through here. Amazing that it should be Waddle right back there doing the challenging, but there he is, and he felt that Wright made more of that than he should have done. And the referee, Alan Dunn, calling both players to him, as you can see there.
Brian, I didn't see anything really wrong with the challenge. It was a fair shoulder charge. I don't think Wright overreacted. And if they were both in the England squad, as they should be, they'd probably be better mates.
But Waddle isn't.
That's right. Well, they probably don't know each other that well. But it certainly was nothing wrong with it. I don't think Wright made a meal of it. But he's a victim of his own sort of temperament at times, right? Even when he doesn't do things wrong.
Mark Wright and Warhurst finish it off. Oh, there was some good defending there by Winterburn. What an amazing debate there's been about Waddle for England, Kevin. From what you've just said, you obviously feel that you're amongst those who feel that he should be in the England side, or certainly in the squad.
Well, if you can tell me anybody better in the country at the moment in the position he plays, then I'd like to sign him.
Davis. O'Leary. Parler. Nice dummy. And that was a foul by King.
I hope it doesn't spill over this match. There seems an awful lot of animosity between certain players, and yet it's not been what I would call a hard physical game. It's been a good game of football. That's a bit of a late tackle there by the young lad, King, but I hope he doesn't start to get sport, because we've seen all the good things in our game out there already, and I'd like that to continue.
Arsenal's free kick. Davis and Morrow standing over it. It'll be Paul Davis who takes it. Campbell's in there, Wright's in there, so too was Palmer. Merson trying another volley. Sheridan trying to get the better of Morrow, but Adams pumping it forward again towards Ray Parler on the far side. Goal kick. Woods with the goal kick. Francis, as I said, 39 tomorrow. The sort of man who's looked very closely at the players, or the managers rather, he's played under, the likes of Brian Clough, and also his experience in Italy. A very, very thoughtful man. I saw him spending a good quarter of an hour or so entirely on his own after the team had arrived here today, in the team coach, just getting his thoughts together, presumably, before delivering the last words before the team went out. Waddle. O'Leary.
O'Leary's done absolutely nothing wrong at right back, has he? I mean, all these thoughts in your mind, the pictures you paint of Waddle getting over that side and causing him problems in the wide open spaces of Wembley. So far, with almost 10 minutes a second half or whatever, he's never been troubled, has he? His experience has won the day so far for him.
It's just that doubt whether he was caught out by that free kick that led to the Wednesday goal, Kevin.
Yeah, but I would more or less say that was due to, on the end of the wall, I think you had Parlour. And really, it's that man's job to take anybody running down that side. I don't think you could blame him for that. It'd be very harsh.
Well, he's on a free transfer at the end of this season from Arsenal after 20 glorious years at Highbury. Merson. Right. And I know David feels that he's got a couple of good years left in him. And I'm sure there'll be no shortage of offers. He's got a testimonial game, I saw in the newspaper today, on May the 17th. After all those years at Highbury, I've heard it whispered that Manchester United might be the team that come there to play for him. So he deserves a bumper gate.
There's no doubt about it, Brian. Testimonials were designed or invented or whatever they were for people like David O'Leary, who spent his whole life at one club.
Sheridan. Winterburn gets it away. Here's Waddle. Finding Bright with this one. Cannoned off his knee. Parlour got it away. There's Palmer for Wednesday. Morrow chesting it down for Arsenal. Hitting it forward again. Wright looking for a yard or two of pace. Denied him by Viv Anderson. King's header. Waddle getting in. Challenged by Morrow.
It was good advantage by the referee there, Brian. Unfortunately, didn't gain any advantage from the next pass, but he let it go on, and I like to see that from referees.
Wilson to Warhurst. Beaten by the strength of Tony Adams. Here's Merson for Arsenal. Cut out nicely that time by Viv Anderson. Now Harks. And the whistle had gone.
I think the referee's done a terrific job so far, Brian. I mean, we're always looking at them and analysing them, and sometimes it's not always good things we say, but he's let the game flow at every chance. Prime example there, Chris Waddle right in front of him. He could have blown up, no, let it go. And he said at the start, I think, he lets the game flow. These are the referees I like to see.
Woods with a long clearance for Sheffield Wednesday. Linnigan behind it. Very confident with a little header back there to his own goalkeeper, David Seaman, because Bright wasn't far away. King. Cut out by Warhurst. Adams. Palmer. And now King getting it back to Chris Woods. John Harks. He's gone past Davis. He's gone past Parlour. But Linnigan makes the clearance. Wilson. Anderson. Nielsen. Anderson. Back to Woods. Forest, Arsenal, Manchester United. Viv made his first appearance in the league way back in 1974. When he arrived at Forest, I remember Cloughie telling me he looked like what Cloughie called a ninepenny rabbit. He was all legs and not much substance, but they've certainly made a terrific footballer out of him, Viv Anderson. And a good pro. Sheridan. Harks this time on this side. Wright's closing in. It's a deep one. Warhurst won't get to it. King. On the edge of the box, no. A good advantage play. Get on with it, said the referee. I wasn't fooled by that. But again, he plays an advantage. This time, Danny Wilson plays it deep. And it'll be a goal kick. And I think Paul Davis in trouble at the moment.
That could well be cramp. And we've talked about it before the game. Paul Davis hasn't played that many games. And there's got to be a question mark a little bit against his fitness because he just hasn't had the matches in him. And the one thing Wembley will do, I can assure you, is it will tug at those muscles and it will start these little cramps off. And once you get them, honestly, it is like having a broken leg. I'm sure a lot of amateur players at home will tell you it's almost worse than having a broken leg. And that's you can see a massage in there now, and that's going to be one of the question marks. He'll do very, very well to last 90 minutes in a game that's been of this pace on a pitch like Wembley.
Big Alan Smith warming up. Ian Selly, the other substitute for Arsenal, warming up, a midfielder. I suppose if Davis were to go off, Selly is the man most likely to replace him, but that's a decision for George Graham. Manager at Arsenal since 1986. And in fact, his first triumph for Arsenal was in this competition when they beat Liverpool in 1987. Since then, of course, 2 glorious league championships to go with that success. Well, his side have done him proud this season, Trevor Francis. Merson, a little touch. Waddle. Adams. Viv Anderson in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah, Ian Wright just did the challenge there. Don't think there's anything wrong in it, but certainly there's some blood around, I think.
So Sheffield Wednesday's physio, Alan Smith, is on. And looks to be bleeding quite badly. And the referee having a word actually with Ian Wright at the moment, but you felt that it was just one of those things.
I just saw the tail end of it. I mean, I think the referee spotted something, and as you say, Brian, he had a word with Wright. And these are sort of little incidents that surround Wright all the time. And there's something that, you know, I talk to my players at the club about. When you start getting involved in that, it takes something away from your game a little bit.
There's an elbow or a hand or something that's smacked into Big Viv. Let's have a look again, see whether it's an elbow. This angle might tell us better. Yes, he probably just got the bit of an elbow, didn't he?
But I don't think, again, looking at it like from that angle and in slow motion, that there's really any intent there. You've got to give players the benefit of the doubt when it's like that.
But there do seem to be a lot of elbows in the game these days.
Well, when you're Ian Wright's size up front and you're playing against these big guys, I mean, you do get your fair share of stick the other way. And I suppose sometimes you feel you have to take the law a little bit into your own hands. It's not right, it's not the right way, but unfortunately it happens. But I'm sure Viv Anderson's had a million of those in his 20-odd years in the game.
Graham Hyde warming up.
The game hasn't really picked up, Brian, has it, in the second half, like we had in the first. The goal certainly coming as early as it did set the pace much more frantic, and it's now as if the sides are more or less, it's more like a game of chess now, and sort of more like the game we thought it would be.
But a noisy game of chess.
Well, the Sheffield Wednesday fans, which are to our right, are making a tremendous amount of noise, and of course, I suppose they've had less trips to places like this over the last 20 years than Arsenal. They're certainly out for a day out from Yorkshire. They've come a long way, and they're going to enjoy it.
Well, as Jack was saying, they're very, very special supporters. And they've added a flavour of their own to Wembley today. Can their manager and his team bring them the success they want?
Well, he's 39, isn't he? Tomorrow. Then there can't be 39 steps up to that to pick that trophy up. But if he went up one side and across and down the other, it probably would be around there. That's what he's dreaming of. And the manager that loses today, of course, he's faced with a problem that they could end up with absolutely nothing, having played in both cup finals, and that's a little bit of a frightening thought.
Well, Viv is patched up. The game goes on. It's still 1-1. And we've played about 17 minutes of the second half. Referee having a word with John Sheridan about something now. It's all ended fairly amicably. Roland Nilsson of Sweden with the throw for Sheffield Wednesday, finding Chris Waddle. Nilsson's ball again. Palmer. Oh, losing out badly to right. Oh, what's happening out there? King lifting it forwards. Parks on the far side. Arsenal's throw.
That was sort of typical of the way this second half started, Brian. Both players tripping over the ball. No one's quite got it going since half-time came at a bad time for both sides by the looks of it.
Waddle chasing. Oh, a lovely ball with the outside of the boot, delivered almost to perfection there for Nilsson, who knew just what to expect, had played an excellent run for him. Roland Nilsson with the throw. Here's Mark Wright. Sheridan. Wilson. Here comes Adams. Davis. And Winterburn, floating it towards Campbell. Flicked on to right. It's an Arsenal ball. Merson to Adams. O'Leary. Davis. Winterburn. Merson. Taken away by Wilson. Finds Warhurst. A little touch releases Sheridan. Another ball by him might just release Bright. Trying to cut inside Linnigan, but Linnigan stood his ground well, chose his moment to perfection, and then found Paul Davis. And here's Merson again for Arsenal. The game picking up a little bit now as Merson makes another of these surging runs. Stopped that time by Carlton Palmer. Waddle. It's Warhurst. Sheridan. Parks, who we think might be taken off in a moment. Hyde is warming up. Palmer. Adams, guided back by O'Leary to David Seaman.
Brian, it's always difficult to make substitutions this early because don't forget, if it's still level at the end of 90 minutes, there's extra time. A lot of people are going to get tired. We've already seen Davis, who's on the ball now, get cramped. And it's a difficult one to make. You just got to take a little insurance policy sometimes, saying wait another 5 minutes.
Wright is onside, but the whistle had gone. Wright's a little unhappy with that. Probably about the first time that Alan Gunn hasn't played an advantage, and Arsenal were in the clear.
That's sod's law, that, Brian, isn't it? It was clear through.
Winterburn towards Parler. Good jump by Palmer. O'Leary to Davis. A little bit of pressure here from Arsenal, just seeking that ball that will release Ian Wright in the penalty area, but not this time. I think it's 5 games he's gone without scoring. As he said in one newspaper today, that really is a compliment to me when people start talking about that.
He's set terrific high standards for himself, and he's now got the more difficult job of living up to them.
Right. Knocked back again by O'Leary. I think he scored something like 52 goals in 74 games for Arsenal. It's an amazing strike rate for Ian Wright, but here's Davis finding Ray Parler on the far side. Wright is lurking in the middle. Merson's a little bit on the deeper side, but that wasn't the ball in they wanted.
It was nevertheless a very good ball in, and I think Merson was pulling out the other way. If he'd made his run in instead of coming back out, he was made to look a bad ball by a player. See, Merson starting to go, probably a little bit worried about the offside, and in the end, just went aimlessly for a goal kick.
67 minutes gone, 1-1 the score. There's a certain amount of injury time, quite a bit of it, I would have thought. Oh, a mistake there by Danny Wilson. It's Campbell through. He's saved by Nielsen, but Nielsen's ball in the end goes to Merson. It's gone past Anderson. What sort of cross can he put in? Is it goal for Arsenal by Morrow? Bad mistake by Sheffield Wednesday, punished to the full by Arsenal.
Well, that's where Carlton Palmer shows he looks like a midfield player here, because all he's got to do is get this ball away. What he's trying to pull it down for there, I just don't know. And they've played the absolute maximum penalty. And he'll watch this in horror, will Carlton Palmer. Great run from Merson, terrific cross, but it should have been cleared there. And there's Morrow in to finish it off. Very easy chance in the end.
But he took it well. Boy from Belfast. And now Wednesday, having been in front, need to repair that damage. Davis. Right. Woods gets it away.
Challenge there, Brian, from Mark Bright. A little bit of frustration, that, I think. And I think it's Linnigan. It was a late challenge. Well, but from a neutral point of view, Brian, the game needed that goal. If you're obviously a Sheffield Wednesday fan, you'd be very disappointed.
So, a yellow card for Mark Bright.
This is just frustration, this, Brian. Look.
Yeah. And Linnigan's still in trouble. No, it's Tony Adams, I beg your pardon.
That's one of the big problems for commentators now, Brian. You can't get away with it anymore. If you make a mistake, it's there on the back of the shirt. I thought it was Linnigan. They do look alike, to be fair. They're both similar size, similar build.
Let's have a look at the goal again. Here's Carlton Palmer's mistake.
Yeah, Morrow reacted very, very quickly, especially bearing in mind that he is a defender. But it's a great cross from Merson, but there's nobody in there on it at all. And as I said before, that is really a midfield player playing at the back.
And look at that statistic there. His first goal for Arsenal, and choosing a Wembley appearance to make it.
I suppose looking at him there, you would say he's a George Graham lookalike. He looks very much like George Graham there. And he's gradually found his way into the game, playing in a position that's foreign to him, and he's capped it off with a goal. It could be a very decisive one.
Right. Here's Campbell. Right, no, stopped that time by Anderson. Parler. Davis. Now what? It's kept in play. Linnigan. Davis again. Right, trying to get away from Anderson. Now Nielsen. John Harkes. Harks again, taking it from Nielsen. Wrights. And Harks tumbled over himself. I'm just wondering how long Trevor Francis will resist the temptation to try David Hurst, another of his strikers, looking for a goal.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he has to change something.
Now Wright. A wonderful goal! No, there was a foul, and it won't count.
It's a fascinating game now, Brian, because Sheffield Wednesday have got to go at Arsenal, and that is when Arsenal are at the most dangerous, with people like Wright. All right, it was offside there. Oh, it's a trip, actually, on Viv Anderson.
Woods with a free kick. Linnigan with a header. Wilson. Palmer. Nielsen. Kept in play by Merson, and indeed there is some movement on the bench. It looks as though David Hurst might be coming on very shortly for Wednesday, and it might well be Danny Wilson who goes off. Foul on Warhurst. Free kick to Wednesday. Getting his instructions there, Hurst, from Trevor Francis. Richie Parker just behind him.
It's a real gamble, Brian, if he takes off a midfield player and puts on a centre forward, because I can't see Bright dropping back in there. I'm not sure it's Warhurst who could do that sort of job. And Wilson does a tremendous amount of fetching and carrying for them. So it's a gamble, but in cup finals, that's what you've got to do.
Well, I think for certain Hurst will go right up alongside Bright. Now, is he the man to save it for Wednesday? With just over a quarter of an hour remaining, plus some time to be added on for injuries, of course. Right, Waddle. My goodness, if this is the moment for Waddle to show us what he's made of. Good catch by Seaman. Harks. It's dropped into centre midfield now, Harks. There he is again. Knocked it wide, gone on a run himself. Nielsen in possession for Wednesday. Plenty of blue and white shirts up now, but also plenty of red ones back. Will Seaman get there before Hurst?
Good little fitness test for Hurst there, going in with a goalkeeper. It's always a good test for a player, that, because they don't pull out. What a tremendous man to bring on as a substitute. He is very direct and a very, very excited player, as everyone knows, and he could just pull this one out the bag for Wednesday.
I was going to say, a snatcher of very important goals too. Davis to Winterburn. Remember, a place in the UEFA Cup final next season. Not only the honour and glory here today, but a very profitable opportunity in one of the major European competitions goes to the winners. With Arsenal leading by 2-1. Davis caught out badly there by Bright. Finds Hurst. Hurst trying to bring Warhurst into the game.
Apart from the first 15 minutes, Brian, the most disappointing part of Sheffield Wednesday's game has been the final ball in the last third. It's found so many times the Arsenal player and not the player it was intended for in a blue and white striped shirt, and they've got to work on that if they're going to cause Arsenal problems in these last 12 minutes.
Here's King. Up to Harks. Hurst. Oh, tried to beat just one man too many, and the man he came up against was the Arsenal captain, Tony Adams. Merson.
players now, Brian, starting to look a little bit more tired. This pitch does take it out of you, I can assure you of that. And I think we're in for a storm in the last 10 minutes or so.
Here's Waddle. And now King. Waddle's ball again flighted beautifully. Another free kick conceded by Parlour. They will regret one of these, Arsenal.
That was more like assault and battery, that one, and there was no real need because I don't think he was going anywhere. But I think this is something like the 8th or 9th free kick in these sort of areas, which you call the danger areas. And I'm sure at some stage they're going to get a chance from one.
So King gets treatment. And Arsenal will pull everybody back now. They've lost more matches in this one season. I think it's 14 in the Premier League, Arsenal, than they've lost in the previous 2. 8 last season, only 1 the season before that. And if you felt they were a little bit vulnerable, you also have to say any George Graham team is beautifully prepared and motivated, and that's certainly been the case for Arsenal here today, even though he's not been able to pick his strongest side. But here's a little pressure point for them.
Superbly flighted free kick, that one, Brian, from
and
Sheridan.
A great chance for Palmer to redeem himself. It was his mistake that led tomorrow's goal. And here he is, you can see him making his move.
Yeah, Campbell did very well for a forward, because forwards don't like to get caught in that position. He just held him off, legally of course, but he just couldn't get inside him.
Dave Anderson with the header. Up goes Mark Bright, beaten by Adams. Nielsen. Back to Woods.
We talk about Arsenal and the lack of goals in the Championship. Must also remember, apart from Manchester United, they've got the best defensive record, Brian, so they don't give many away.
Here's Hurst. King. Hurst. Sheridan. Anderson coming forward. Nielsen. And again Nielsen. Finding Warhurst. And now King. Buzzing around that Arsenal penalty area now. The cross from Harks came off O'Leary. Another Wednesday corner. 10 minutes remaining. Arsenal leading by 2 goals to 1. Good catch.
Oh, for Trevor Francis to be sat there saying, my goodness, that's the one place you don't want to put it, into the goalkeeper's arms.
Parlour is right. Parlour again. Merson. And I think the press assembled here today choose the man of the match for the Alan Hardacre Trophy. Former Secretary of the Football League, of course, the late Alan Hardacre. So you don't have that job today, Kevin, but I would have thought Merson must be very much in their minds.
Well, I'm really glad I haven't got the job, Brian, because I don't think anyone's been really outstanding. But there's 3 or 4 in the Arsenal side and a couple in the Sheffield Wednesday side who have done very well.
Here's Wright, trying to get in behind Anderson. It's an Arsenal throw. Ricochet there, but the shot was a simple one for Woods.
He looked like a winger until he got into the final most difficult part, which is a cross, and then he looked like a fullback again.
Wednesday are going to make another substitution. They're going to bring on Graham Hyde. yet sure who they're taking off. We believe it might be Phil King, number 16 it is.
Well, they've got to take a bit of a gamble now, Brian, haven't they? There's nothing for losing 2-1 in.
Davis. Winterburn. Campbell. A free kick to Wednesday. Campbell unhappy with that decision, claims he got the ball, but
He shouldn't have thrown the ball away, Brian. He did get the ball, and I think he is a little bit unlucky. But when you start throwing balls away, then referees are obliged to call you over and tell you you can't do that.
he's a tolerant man, is Alan Gunn, and I must say he's refereed, as you say, in a very adult way, and has certainly helped this game here this afternoon.
They're so important, Brian. People talk about players, and of course it's all about players, but if the referee doesn't let it flow, then it's a difficult game.
Well, he wants to get it flowing now, but Arsenal are worried that Paul Davis has had another attack of the cramp.
I can tell you, if he's getting cramped now, the last 8-10 minutes, whatever's left, they're going to seem like a lifetime, because it doesn't go away, it doesn't just come and go, it hangs around. And he's done very well, Davis. He's found that little niche to playing in midfield. He hasn't had to cover a tremendous amount of ground, but he's always been an outlet for them, and I don't think he's given one ball away all afternoon.
Nielsen with the kick. Towards Hurst, gets it above the ball, right in there too. Parlour getting it away for Arsenal. Gets it back to Viv Anderson. Towards Waddle. That was O'Leary's header for Arsenal. Winterburn. Campbell playing it inside for Merson. It's an Arsenal throw. We're inside the last 5 minutes now with time to be added on.
If Sheffield Wednesday are going to get back in this, Waddle or someone like him are going to have to do something a bit different to what they've done so far. It's all been pretty predictable second half, what they've thrown in at the Arsenal defence. And with the players they've got, their experience, especially Adams and O'Leary in particular, they're not going to beat these with just basic stuff. They're going to have to just find another way through.
I think that the headlines that have been surrounding Chris Waddle over the last week or so, Ian Wright also. In fact, it's an unsung hero, Steve Morrow, with his first goal for Arsenal, who looks as though it might turn out to be the match winner. Well, that's a ball thrown away there by Chris Woods. Parlour. No foul. Referee could not have been better placed. Sheridan. Just kept in play. No, it's went out of play. Park's unhappy with that decision. Time now rapidly running out for Sheffield Wednesday. Started so brightly, went ahead with the goal by John Harkes. He's thrown the ball away. He would probably claim he was throwing it towards David O'Leary, but his aim was way out.
I think it's fair to say David O'Leary didn't dive to try and stop it either. He just said, oh, if you want to throw it there, we're in front.
That's right. It's you who want every second. O'Leary's throw. Up to Kevin Campbell. Hyde. Knocked back. Woods.
Brian, Wednesday have just not picked it up in the second half. That 15-minute break was probably 5 minutes too long for them, and they've just come out and the touch hasn't been there, the fluency's gone, and balls have been given away far too easily. And that's been the difference between the first half performance and this one.
And the seconds all the while are ticking away to the frustration and the irritation of the bench.
Yeah, I think he's sort of saying you've got to get up there, we've got to take a gamble, we might as well lose 3-1 as 2-1. There's no goal difference in these games.
And away goes Wright. The flag stays down. But just as he was lining up another of those long-range shots, in came Viv Anderson. Read his mind.
I think he's been their best player. If I was to pick a player on each side, certainly Viv Anderson. He's been terrific in everything he's done. He's worked hard, he's marshalling them well, he's still talking to them now. He's telling them they can still win it. And he's 36 years of age. He's a great example for any young pros watching. He's given blood in literally every sense today.
Corner played short. Campbell crossing it in towards Wright on the far side. Got a bit of support from Andy Linnigan. It's a Wednesday throw. We're now in the last minute. And Wednesday still snatch it. Shoving it forward towards Hurst. But Merson brings it away for Arsenal. Campbell, but Anderson is chasing him. Campbell might get the better of him this time. No, I spoke too soon again. Viv Anderson there, the master of defence, gets it away once more. Sheridan with the long ball. Hurst has got his head down and chasing. Linnigan's in there as well. Only half cleared that time. Warhurst is in there, tries one on the turn. Both Bright and Hurst were up on the far side of the area. And in the end, it wasn't a shot really that troubled David Seaman.
Maybe a couple of players better positioned here, but these are the sort of goals he's been scoring. He feels like he can score from there, and I mean, I think he's done a really hard-working job up front without really causing the back four too many problems, as can be said for Bright as well.
Here's Palmer. We're now playing time added on, and I've no doubt that Alan Gunn will add a bit of time on. There was a long stoppage for Viv Anderson, his head injury. And also a couple of stoppages for Paul Davis's cramp. Now, is this the moment for the likes of Waddle and Sheridan to produce something? Will George Graham be denied in the last moments of this game? Sheridan playing it in now. A shot on the turn by Hurst. And it's gone behind for the goal kick.
That's typical of Hurst there. There wasn't really half a chance on for most strikers. He actually got a shot in, and he's not that far wide. Yard.
Referee unhappy again with Mark Bright about something. And the last thing Sheffield Wednesday want is to have their minds deflected at the moment with arguing with the referee. And by the look of it, Alan Gunn is not terribly happy with what Mark Bright has been saying to him. The one thing that Wednesday have got to do now, surely, is get on with the game. A shake of the hands between Bright and O'Leary, and the game goes on.
He seems like the sort of referee, let the game play on, but he won't let players abuse him, and I think he's quite right.
Let's have a look at his watch. Morrow with a header. Harks, the afternoon started in glory for him with that opening goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Deep into time added on now. Up goes Waddle. Hyde knocking it back. Harks will hit it forward again. Down that left-hand channel. And O'Leary, a lovely touch right at the end. Bangs it high into the Arsenal supporters up there. Oh, they're the Wednesday supporters.
Just thinking to himself, Brian, you know, this right back, it's not as difficult as I thought it would be, you know. He's not really been troubled at all.
Waddle with the throw. Mark Bright That time it was Paul Davies who got in and got the clearance away. Can Wright get on the end of this? No. Anderson's there. Waddle coming in on the far side. But an offside against Chris Waddle.
I think Chris Waddle's had a frustrating afternoon here at Wembley. So much was expected of him. Of course, it's impossible to live up to the headlines all the time and people's wishes and expectations. But we all thought he would play a bigger part in this game than he has. And I think that's great credit to George Graham and his tactical way of shutting him out with Merson, mainly.
Another look at the watch. Carlton Palmer bringing it forward. Oh, Waddle won't get to that. O'Leary will, and plays it like an old pro that he is, away to an area where it's going to take up a few more seconds. Chris Woods will hammer it down towards that Arsenal half. Another look at the referee's watch. This time it's Nielsen. And now Sheridan, knocking it wide for Harkes. Played in again for Waddle. Oh, and he wanted Harkes to go, but there was an offside against Hyde, I think it was. And a free kick for Arsenal.
That sums up Chris Waddle's afternoon. Nothing's quite come off for him. He's not had a bad game, he's just not got in it enough. And again there, I think, he had every right to expect the young lad to go in and make that run, but it just didn't quite work, and they've been more missed than hit in this second half.
The final whistle. Arsenal, the winners of the 1993 Coca-Cola Cup, beating Sheffield Wednesday by 2-1, have assured themselves of a place in Europe next season. Paul Merson, scorer of the first Arsenal goal and named man of the match for the Alan Hardacre Trophy winner on a week when he became a father for the second time. What a week of celebration for him. And the customary Merson salute. And let's have a word with the victorious Arsenal manager, George Graham.
George, congratulations, another trophy for you. What did you think of that second half display?
Yeah, I thought it was a close game. I think we showed a lot of character again. You know, we're proving that we're a better team than actually what a lot of people give us credit for. But it was very, very close.
Paul Merson got the Press Man of the Match award.
Yeah, I thought it was very exciting. I thought he took a lot of pressure off us in the first half when he held onto the ball a lot. He was taking the fullback on. I think he showed a world-class fullback. You know, I thought he did very well.
And you've got another cup final to come.
Yeah, I expect another very hard game.
Well done today.
Okay, thank you.
George Graham then. And the face of defeat from Viv Anderson. But as Kevin was saying, nobody played better in Sheffield Wednesday's cause, and at 36 he's saying, well, I've got a chance next month in the FA Cup final, but there won't be many more after that. And the most unexpected match winner of them all, Steve Morrow. His first goal for Arsenal, a 22-year-old Belfast lad who turned up trumps when most Arsenal wanted it, with George Armstrong, one of the great old-time Arsenal favourites, Steve Burtonshaw with him as well there, who would have brought him up through the youngsters, who brought all those Arsenal youngsters on. Steve Morrow amongst them. And, well, a most unexpected hero of the day.
He's done a terrific job in the midfield. His main job wasn't to score the winning goal. It was to close down and win the ball, to allow the other players in the side like Wright and Campbell up front to go out and win it. But he's done what we see so often in finals. We're looking for the Waddles and we're looking at the Wrights, and suddenly tomorrow it'll be all about Morrow tomorrow.
He did a super job on John Sheridan. He stifled him, the man who could really have caused most problems through that Sheffield Wednesday midfield. Ray Parlour on the left got through an enormous amount of work down that right-hand side, but the man of the match, Paul Merson, with that lovely volleyed goal, which we thought was deflected. In fact, it was swinging away beautifully. He must have hit it with the outside of the boot, always away from Chris Woods. Now, I wonder if that's Steve Morrow down there, because I tell you what, they were lifting him onto their shoulders, and I've got a feeling the players dropped him and got a bang on the head. I think we saw maybe just the start of him beginning to fall.
That'll teach him to score the winning goal.
Well,
obviously, it sometimes just on the spur of the moment. It looks like he's dropped on his elbow, Brian, and it would be a tragedy if he can't go up and get his medal.
It looks as though he's got a serious problem there. Just a moment ago, an out-and-out hero for Arsenal, as the tradition here at Wembley for the League Cup final is that the losers go up first.
There'll be disappointment there amongst those players, but I suppose it'll be slightly less than normal because they know they're coming back here again in about 3.5 weeks' time, whatever. And I honestly believe that because Arsenal have won today, there's a very, very good chance, looking back through history and teams playing each other twice in competitions in close proximity, there's a very good chance they could be going up second in a few weeks' time. They've lost nothing in defeat. They haven't played as well as they can.
If they go up second, they'll have lost it. In the FA Cup, the winners go up first, but I know what you mean.
Got it wrong again, Brian. But they're given their all. Chris Waddle, I know, will be disappointed.
Tommy Finney will know their feelings. If my memory serves me, he played in the '54 Cup final for Preston, and they got beaten by West Bromwich Albion that day. So Tom Finney, our guest of honour today, will certainly know the feelings of Sheffield Wednesday. Well, I tell you what, there's a real problem for Morrow. They've now got ambulance men on the field, and I can see the Arsenal team doctor there as well.
It's incredible, Brian, isn't it, in football? You can play 90 minutes in a game where there was no quarter given and no quarter asked, and then just by something as stupid as that, and I mean, there's no, obviously, badness intended from the players. Something like that could cost him a place in the cup final in a couple of weeks' time. He may not be able to go out and pick his medal up, and I find that unbelievable. It would be a tragedy.
So Arsenal then go up to collect the winners' medals and the Coca-Cola Cup. An entry into Europe. Tony Adams has been through it all before. It's victory for Arsenal. The smiling face of David Seaman and Kevin Campbell, but Steve Morrow, who we saw on the pitch, is not amongst them. The medical men have still been gathered around him, and in fact he's been stretchered off straight to the dressing rooms, and we'll show you that in a moment. David O'Leary, after all those years. Well, Arsenal, I imagine their celebration slightly muted by what has happened to Steve Morrow. But it's been a superb team performance. As George Graham was saying, they haven't played at their best this season, but it's testimony to the way they've been prepared and to the spirit and the character within the camp that they've come here and have won by 2-1 against Sheffield Wednesday today.